it's good to hear from you and see that you finally escaped from the Triple M car park.
No shit, I thought I was going to be in there all day. I was like, I just have to now just get a cab home and just write it off. I don't have a car. I did, and now it's gone. Yeah, that was frustrating.
Glamorous life of a rock star, mate.
Yeah, I was so happy with myself because I had gone in there to do this audition to narrate the Chisel podcast, and it went really well, and I was like, oh, this is great. And I felt all cool, and then I was like, now I'm not so cool, I can't find my car. And I was genuinely panicking, so I made the video to stop myself from panicking too much. It was my way of just trying to make it like it was no biggie. And then I found it.
Hey, mate, whatever you got to do as someone who, deals with his fair share of mental health stuff, if that's what it takes to stop you from spinning out, do it. I like it.
Exactly. Sometimes if you make a little reel in moments of panic, you're more concerned about getting the right footage than you are about the actual moment of panic.
That is genius. I'm totally going to steal that.
Yeah, do it. It's good. And also, you know that you're filming it, so if it all goes pear-shaped and the outcome's bad, you don't ever have to use any of the footage.
This is
true. Later.
Yeah. I'll tell you, mate. Not just a rock star. That's some smart stuff. I like it.
Pretty sharp.
Now, mate, so the last time I saw you was at the zoo, and you were watching Adalita. Yeah, and rest in peace, the zoo, obviously. And I remember being in the crowd and being like, holy shit, this feels like I'm backstage at a 90s Big Day Out. Like, I'm standing there and there's Screamfeeder, and I'm lucky enough that I've, become mates with Kelly Lloyd, so I know her quite well. And then I hear Adalita going, Phil, I see you out there, and I'm like, I wonder if she means Phil Jameson. Then I circle around, and I was like, holy crap, that's Phil Jameson, and he's hammered, bless him.
Yep.
And he's talking this young lady's ear off with short spiky hair, and I was like, hang on, she looks familiar. And I step a bit closer, and I was like, holy shit, that's Sarah McLeod.
Yeah, we all love Adalita.
I know, right? She's just, I introduced an interview with her by saying there's 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and Adalita is cooler than you. Like,
Yep. She so is. I just did some shows with her on the weekend, and especially now she's like let her hair go grey. She's even cooler. Like, she's just so legit. It's like she's very humble. She's like, oh, Says, don't be silly. No, you're cooler than me. Oh, Says, she acts really humble, but she's way cool.
Yeah, she's just got that energy.
Yeah.
So when I introduced myself, obviously to Phil and you, I don't know why, because I was 15 when the Gravity video came out. I still have this bizarre teenage crush on you. So every time I speak to you in real life, I turn into a stammering teenager, which is really irritating. But the interaction got me thinking about just the way you and Phil are just talking to each other so passionately about music and everything. And it got me thinking about, friendships amongst musicians. I mean, we've just spoken about, how fucking unbelievably cool Adalita is. And knowing that you can't possibly name everyone, like, who have been some of the most enduring friendships for you in the Australian music scene?
One of my favourite people in this industry is Tim Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
You know Tim? And also Daisy Lane, both those guys. I adore those two. They've always been good friends to me. They back me up when I need them. They're salt of the earth. They're really talented. They're hardworking. They're humble. I love those guys. And great songwriters too.
Tim strikes me as an incredibly interesting guy. I would love to chew his ear off about stuff, because I've...
He really is. He's conversationalist. He's very intelligent, and he can play to any level of intelligence. So, like, sometimes, you know, you can put him next to a total dumbass, and he'll make that dumbass feel like he's with them.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk down to people, and then you'll see him with, like, you know, someone with super big IQ, like a poet, or, you know, he could talk to anyone and hold his own on any level. It's very interesting like that.
Yeah. He was really interesting. My first job was a sub-editor of a street press in Tassie between 05 and 08. And my boss at the time interviewed Tim Rogers on 2 separate occasions. And they were really interesting because the first one happened after Tim had a bit of a drunken stuff up at the Falls Festival the year prior. He'd had an incident and had to leave the stage. It was regrettable, but whatever. But, you know, he obviously brought that up in the interview, and Tim got quite upset and irate and, you know, really put him in his place. Then fast forward like a year later, we interviewed him about something else, and he seemed almost despondent about his own art. He was like, oh, I wish I could do something that meant something. And it's like, dude, you're Tim Rogers from UMI. And I just remember thinking, what a multifaceted, just interesting soul he seems like.
He is a very complicated soul, yeah. He's like a Rubik's Cube.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, that's what makes him so interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely dibs on him when I can, hopefully for the hard-ons, I'll be able to interview him. How have you rated his work with hard-ons so far?
Oh, I've only seen him in hard-ons once, and I was really taken back at what an incredible frontman he was once he put the guitar down. He's always been a good frontman with UMI, but with no guitar, he was like Iggy Pop. He was like next level.
What a point of reference. I love it.
Yeah, he was really good.
Now, I mentioned that, the first time I'd run into you, I saw you at Spring Loaded. You were sitting up on a fence to watch the bands, and I came up and introduced myself, and you were like, oh, do you want me to get down? I think you thought I was a security guard.
I remember this.
Yeah.
You come and tell me off,
Yeah. And I remember I said to you, because I just watched you on stage, and I said to you that I hope that my daughter has someone to look up like you to look up to when she's in her teenage years, because seeing you on stage, you at one point were walking along the barrier with your guitar, and you even posed for a selfie while playing, and I was like, this chick just has the rock god thing down. Like, who was some of your rock god role models growing up?
Rock god role models. That's an interesting question. I didn't really have I wasn't really into rock gods per se. Like, you know, everyone I played with, most people of my era, into Kiss and that kind of thing. But I never really got into that kind of thing. I kind of liked pop music, and I liked George Michael. I loved George Michael. I liked Wham. So they're not really rock gods, you know. I liked Culture Club and the Smiths. I like they're not really, I mean, they're posers, but they're not exactly like rock gods, are they?
No.
So, as far as performers though, my favourite performer is Robbie Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He's a brilliant performer because he's got spunk, confidence wrapped in humility and humour, and he doesn't take himself too seriously.
Yeah, nice. Was your love of pop kind of instrumental in picking to cover "Confide in Me"?
Yes, absolutely. In the SUPERJESUS, we've always had this sort of push-pull between the guys all love rock and roll, and I am 100% from the pop side. So, I mean, even when we started, I was always like, I don't even know if I like this music, but I'm trying to work out how to write catchy, fun pop songs over this heavy, like deep-tuned, dirty dirgy kind of grooves. And that was always my struggle. I was like, oh, well, I'm in this band now. If I started a band from scratch, it would sound like the Go-Go's, but, you know, I'm here now, so I'm just going to try and make this band sound as pop as I can, because it's the band that I'm in. And that's what I've done my whole life with that band. That's why we sound different, because it's two different styles pushing and pulling at each other the whole time.
I feel like that dynamic is what makes truly great bands. I mean, you know, a band like Deftones is literally, you know, a guitarist who's a metalhead and, you know, a singer who idolizes Prince, you know.
Yeah, right, yeah. Stuff like that is cool, hey, I agree. So that's how we came to Confide in Me. So we did like a metal version of Kylie Minogue. That's perfect for us.
Yeah. What you did you nailed a cover of Dancing with Myself recently too. What thinking of those two examples, what do you think makes a great cover?
I think the cover, I think if you can find something that when you break it down just to vocal and acoustic sounds true to the band's natural style, and then you can produce it any way you want. So you get a metal song or a classical song or jazz or whatever, and you break it down just to the chords and the lyrics, and then work out if that particular song feels like it's your band, and then you just do it in your own band's way. I think if you do it in your own band's way, as in what comes naturally to your band, you know, that's what makes covers interesting.
Yeah. So I noticed that since the Reformation, obviously there's been one EP and a handful of singles. What is the likelihood of a full-length album from you guys?
That's what we're working toward. We have just finished a full-length album. It's going to be out in February or March. We haven't got a date on it yet, which we will do shortly. We've still got 2 more singles to drop, and then we're dropping the album in the new year, and I'm so happy with it. I love it. Every single song on there I love.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really cool.
What can you tell me? Has it got a title?
It has, but we haven't released that yet.
Ooh. Nice. Can you tell me a lie about it?
A lie about it.
Well, I figure if there's things that you can't tell me, if there's stuff, can we just make some shit up?
You'll be crying if you don't buy it.
I love it. Mate, what can you tell me about the recent single you dropped, Something Good? How long was that in the works?
So I had Something Good years ago. I was going to use it for a solo record, and it was like a dancey thing. It was designed as, this is when I was doing dance music ages ago, so it was designed as like a club song. And then when we were putting together demos for this record, I was like, I wonder what this would sound like with the band. And I played it to Ruddy, our bass player, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, that's got a vibe. I could see that with us." And you know, I've been sort of trying to encourage the band to put slight little dancey bits in our songs here and there, like, and it's starting to work. So we did it with Something Good, and we've done it with a couple of others on the new record. They have just this little hint of dance music in it, and it really works. And so Ruddy went away and had a play with it, and then came back and said, "How about this?" and had some cool shit. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's go. It's gonna be perfect." So I love it. I think it's a good, fun song. I think it's great because it shows, like the verses have that sort of quiet, like low singing thing, like what we had in Gravity, which I don't really sing down there that much in the SUPERJESUS. And then the chorus is just fun, you know, and you can put it on and it'll make you feel good in any particular situation. So that's bad about that.
Yeah. I love it. But in 2017, the SUPERJESUS was inducted into the South Australian Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What did that kind of recognition mean to you?
Well, it was exciting because of its longevity. You know, when we first started, we were thinking that we were only going to be in this business for a couple of years, make what we could and get out. You know, our manager took our parents aside and said, "There's no longevity in this business, so make sure that whatever money she makes, she invests and guide her to do it wisely." And then, you know, what have we been in this business now? About 30 years been in this business now. And to get a Hall of Fame award was a really nice tip of the hat for longevity, because it's hard to be in this business for a really long time. And to be acknowledged for the longevity of it is a really nice thing to look at.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate that is actually really, really solid advice to give to a young band? Like, that's beautiful. Like, because a lot of the time, you know, there isn't. And people, you know, their lifestyle all of a sudden, you know, they all of a sudden, you know, get a new revenue stream and think, holy shit, this is permanent. Awesome. I'm going to adjust my lifestyle accordingly. And then bang.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not. And longevity in the music business is really hard. Everything is really fly by night. You know, consumption is so immediate and fast these days, and people just chew you up and spit you out. So you've got to think of the long run, and you've got to try and think, okay, what have I got here? How can I turn this month into 2 months? How can I stretch this out? How can I keep going in this for as long as possible? It's no mean feat, and you've got to make sure that you take what you're getting along the way and invest it wisely and be clever and think.
100%. Well, speaking of longevity, I will be in the pit for Grinspoon tonight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Speaking of Phil, so
Yeah.
what did you think?
Phil and I are good mates.
Yeah. What did you think of the new album?
So far, I've only heard the singles, and I thought they're great. They're such good songwriters.
Oh, right.
They pay homage to their old records, so you still get the same feeling. But that's the thing with Grinspoon. They're a brand, and they're a solid brand, and they know their brand, and you know they always paid homage to who they are whilst moving forward. But they always have very deep roots in the sound that they created in the 90s, which completely works for them.
It is quite comforting, isn't it? Like, I'm all for bands, you know, evolving and doing different things, but like, for example, you know, Grinspoon's greatest strength to me, as, you know, someone who, you know, I was 16 in 2001, you know, so, you know, when New Detention and these albums came out, you know, Grinspoon's bread and butter is down-tuned burnout music with, you know, with kind of that light vocal going over the top of it. Like, that's their thing, and they do it incredibly. So it's great for them that they keep circling back to it and paying homage to it, like you said. Yeah.
I've also been always proud of them for managing to hold the same lineup since the very beginning. Not many bands have been able to do that.
Yeah, man. Like, they do well, and despite, you know, his various ups and downs, he's just proven himself to be a really cool dude. So yeah, I'm glad he's still with us.
Pushed through some trying times.
Yeah. Awesome, mate. Look, thank you very much for your time today. It's been great to finally speak to you. You've been on my little, you know, list of Australian music interviews for a while. So this has been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate
Easy, mate. Have a great rest of your day. Okay.
I will. You have fun tonight.
I will, mate. Don't you worry about me.
Don't stand too close to the front, because no one behind will be able to see anything.
No worries.
For Christ's sake, don't wear a big hat.
I actually have a shirt, and on the back of it, it has our logo on the front, and on the back it says, "Tonight's tall guy in front of you is brought to you by Sense Music Media."
That's great, so they'll know where to send the complaints.
100%.
You have fun out there.
All right, mate. Have a good one, mate. Bye.